speaking, straight off the deep end with meaning. Soul searching, interstellar frequency sequence. Type of combo to have a person that's woke dreaming. Like how they seen a star before they started beaming. Boosie tapping on your intellect. Now we hacking in your internet. I intersect all paths that I'm finna set. We just tryna play our part. We just speaking from the heart, yeah. I'm Soulistically on one. Yeah. I just gotta be the strong one. You just gotta be.
We're gonna go there sometime. We're gonna go deep. We're gonna bring the light to the depths of you. It's live.
All right, we're live. We're here. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Hopefully this is going through. I don't see it yet, but we're here, guys. Welcome back to Soulistically Speaking. I am your host, Boosie. Here. Oh, my sound went crazy. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
It happens. Well, old friend, reconnecting friend.
Right.
Mm-hmm. This is Portia.
Haven't
Welcome
seen you in years.
to the show. I know it's been. We're trying to figure it out. Like, I want to say at least
10 or 8. Yeah.
8
Okay.
between like that time.
Yeah.
But real quick, just so everybody know, Portia is an AIDS and HIV advocate and a public speaker and a woman and a queen and all that good stuff. I don't know why I said you're a woman. I just like saying women. Women are great.
I am. I'm a grown woman. I am a grown woman now.
Awesome. So how was your day?
It was pretty good. Just got off work not that long ago and came straight here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Nipsey's funeral, I watched that a little bit while I was
Yes,
at
so
work.
you're going to catch me up. So I didn't get a chance to watch and see what happened, but you want to just give us a recap?
It
Our 9 o'clock news.
It was so many people. It was at the Staples Center, and I feel like the whole Staples Center was packed. And Anthony Hamilton, he performed. Flo, or what's the girl from Floetry's name? Marsha Ambrosia.
Mm-hmm.
She sang. It was just really nice. When his brother Samuel spoke, like I really felt that. And when Lauren London got up and spoke, I really felt that.
So where was it at?
The Staples Center.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Barack Obama wrote a letter for him.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really dope. It was really, really dope.
So look, I'm glad that you are, because I didn't really follow his life prior to his passing.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard his songs, and I liked a couple, but I wasn't really like keeping up with a lot of the things that I'm hearing now about his work in the community, his activism, his giving back, his businesses, all that stuff. Were you like a fan?
I was a super fan of Nipsey Hussle, but I didn't really follow his life. I more so liked a lot of his songs,
Mm-hmm.
his music, and I thought he was fine. So I had a crush on him.
He was. Yes.
Yeah, but I didn't really follow his life all the way like that. I knew a little bit about what he was doing. Like he had the Marathon store on Slauson and Crenshaw. I knew about that, and I definitely didn't know about that Dr. Sebi documentary that was coming out until after the fact. So yeah,
interesting, right?
Uh-huh.
So, but that's exactly the kind of thing that I would want people to see. Like, we know his music, but why is it just now that all this great stuff about him that's been happening, that he's been pushing, hasn't been more publicized and celebrated as much as his like music?
So I think why I liked Nipsey so much is because he was a conscious rapper, and so You know, he wasn't. I think he started off maybe commercial, but like his growth and how he evolved, he became more of a conscious rapper, and that's what I like. I'm not really into. I've always been this like super emotional R&B, yes, R&B soul, like neo soul type person, like and I don't really like rap like that. I mean, like growing up, you know, when I was turning up and stuff when I was younger, like and going out and stuff, you know, the rap, the trap music and stuff was you know, what you go out to and turn up to. But my favorite rappers, like I don't really listen to rap by myself at home, but if I do, it's because like it's conscious rap, you know, like, and when I'm saying conscious, I mean like he was conscious of the fact that he had a platform and that a lot of people looked up to him, and that he could create change, and not a lot of rappers are doing that, and a lot of rappers are commercial. And I mean,
that's a good way to put it. I never thought about a difference in conscious and commercial.
And I think the conscious rappers don't get as much like recognition, you know what I'm saying? Like people like
J. Cole,
right? Like J. Cole, Nipsey. They don't get as much clout as like the commercial rappers because they're not following the
I feel it. Honestly, I feel like that's also a part of my challenge in trying to do something like this, where it's conscious, like we're talking about real things, and people just don't care to go into, like they just would rather, you know, watch something that's just brainless and whatever, because it's just like it's entertaining. But I mean, I get it. The challenge is bringing entertainment and consciousness together, and that's hard. But you know, we're trying. I'm trying. And we're here. We're doing it. So.
And I actually love what you're doing. Like this is so dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm happy that you invited me to come.
It's like on the radio.
With you. Yeah, this is like this is a dope experience.
Awesome. Thank you. So I gotta ask you then, what's your favorite Nipsey song?
So my favorite Nipsey song of all time is "That's How I Knew." I don't know. Like you just have to listen to the words of that song. He's pretty much saying like that's how that I knew that I was different. And so I like that song because I can relate because I feel like I'm different. So, but lately I've been on that hustle and motivate song. Like that song's super dope too.
Wow. Yeah. I like that. Last time that I checked.
I like that song too.
It's dope.
I got a lot of songs by Nipsey that I like. So
yeah,
but I think
and he had a couple like R&B songs too.
Really?
Yeah, I heard a couple slower. I mean, it's not R&B. It's like gangster R&B. Like it's still like
yeah.
He's still serenading you, but it's like tough.
Right.
Yeah. It's just kind of hot.
Yeah.
You have to admit. Awesome. Okay. Well. You know, my question's actually over here. But I didn't get to catch the funeral, so it was good. It was nice.
It was really good. I actually cried. It was sad, but it was inspirational. It was really good. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Yeah.
I gotta catch it on...
what's his name? From, like, Farrakhan, I think? Like, one of the Muslim leaders. What he said, his speech was pretty good, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta watch it. It was really good.
Wow. Yeah, it's really sad, but at the same time, actually, I saw a clip from his mom.
And his mom spoke.
Yeah.
His dad.
Yeah.
This girl, I think it was like one of his best friends or something. What she said was actually really dope too. His mom is super spiritual. Like, you could tell, like, that's why Nipsey was the way that he is because of her, you know?
Yeah, so you can tell, like, she influenced a lot of his conscious being just by the way that she talks and she is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's cool. I totally forgot my questions. We're going to
if my phone is over there, but I can't go get it.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay. This is real life, peeps.
I'll be right back.
In the meantime,
pour me some.
I got you. I hope you like it. It's in the Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but
I like all red wines, kind of, except for Merlot.
Merlot is tough. It's bitter.
Okay, so here are the questions that you sent me.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me put my headphones back on.
So we did your favorite song. Cool. So this is what I wanted to get into because you actually took the time to find out more about this. And I saw your little poll on like Instagram or something. And you're trying to see. I like that. I like how you took. Yeah, I like that you took initiative to kind of understand, the public's opinion as well. So I didn't really get into understanding the conspiracy in terms of what that whole thing was about. But what we do know is that he was working on a documentary on this guy, Dr. Sebi, who is known for having to be a self-proclaimed healer. And one of the things he's notorious for is that he claimed he healed or cured AIDS. So what?
HIV.
Yeah.
HIV is the actual virus. I'm just...
Yeah, no, teach us, yes.
So, yeah, he proclaimed to cure HIV and cancer and diabetes and herpes.
Things that we know not to be curable, but he claimed that he did.
Yeah. And he actually, so like I did that poll to see to see how many people actually believe that he cured HIV. I believe it. I do. I believe it. I'm not I can't say I'm 100% sure that it's true. Yeah. But I believe it. He actually, the FDA took him, sued him, filed suit against him, and with the Supreme Court, I believe, or the federal, they filed suit against him, and he actually proved and won the case that he cured. I think it was 70 or 77 people, between 70 and 77 people from HIV.
And this is from the research you did? Because I saw somebody say that he didn't win the case, and they had a document.
Oh, really?
That they found somewhere. This is the thing. It's the internet. You'll never know.
Right.
But based on making, number one, you are an HIV and AIDS advocate, so you're very knowledgeable on it, and you have personal experience with it. So if anybody knows, or if anybody can say that opinion, it's you, because you know what's going on.
And I can't say for sure that he did, but I believe it. And the articles that I read were saying that he won the case, but I don't know. You're right. There could be some that say he didn't.
So what makes you believe him?
Because I feel a lot of things could be I believe in natural healing or Eastern medicine, and and being able to heal your body through dieting, and I believe in that kind of stuff. That's what Eastern medicine was around way before Western biomedicine came about, and that's how they were healing.
I believe it too. I actually grew up on natural remedies. So my grandmother, she used to keep every part of every vegetable, the stems, the leaves, the skins, or whatever, and she'd make all different kinds of things, whether it was things you could put topically or a drink or just mix it together to take, and I felt better. And I feel like our bodies are meant to digest organic things without stripping. We know that fruits and vegetables are the healthiest things, so obviously they're working. And when we extract a part of it, isn't the other part that makes it heal you, as opposed to just cover the symptoms. Right.
And I think that's what medicine is, Western biomedicine is. They're still using some ingredients in the medications are,
but not the full.
Are like natural stuff, but then they're putting all this other toxic stuff in it too. I feel like
which takes away from the healing, right? So you wonder,
I'm
like,
not sure, but I feel like that's what's going on.
Okay, so then you think because he studied the natural things and didn't break them apart and concentrate them and synthesize them, that cures versus covering the symptoms of treats it.
Yeah. I think Western biomedicine is all about treating your symptoms or your illness and not curing it.
That's just not about culture, though. We like instant gratification. Like we need to feel like stuff is working, even though it's not. You know, like we like to feel like we're very vain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it works in this society, but I feel like, no, I agree.
And I mean, I would love to like hear from someone who would, like, one of his patients that cured, and maybe, I don't know what this documentary was going to be about, or if hopefully we still get to see
now we're curious,
but maybe they were going to have some of his patients in there or something. I don't know. I'm interested to see what the documentary is going to be about.
I'm a little scarred because of like the R. Kelly documentary.
Oh my god.
I don't really
I'm laughing, but that's not funny. Oh my god.
It's funny, but it's not funny. It's a really serious thing. Like, we're not taking that lightly whatsoever. But the whole point is, and this is I'm gonna keep going back to like why I want to do this show like this, is the fact that I'm not trying to convey a specific idea. I'm really just trying to open the floor to what is, versus documentaries. Like, we all learned in school the nature of using certain language, using certain sources, and using certain things to convey a message. And that's what's always happening in media. They were always telling us how to think, what to, how to be. Versus just saying, no, let's use our own brains, use our own smarts, let's talk about it. And within this conversation, we might come to a better consensus of what's really going on.
Right.
And when you talk to those people, let it be real.
Right.
You know?
We've been, even with the whole stigma behind HIV, it's been programmed into our heads. So a lot of things are programmed into our heads.
It kills me.
Into our minds.
It makes me mad. Because I always think about this. And this is really crazy, I'm really into space. I don't know why. I want to be in space. I don't know why. But I used to wonder if I was born in outer space. Maybe I'm an alien. Who knows? It could be.
Maybe we all are aliens.
You know? I mean, technically, I am an alien. I'm not American, so.
I'm like, what was it? Okay, now
you're like, oh no, we're supposed to go taking this somewhere else. No, like, if I was born in outer space and had no human influence, how would I be? And that's difficult because I have basic human needs. Like, I would need to feed myself, survive. But aside from the physical part, I always wonder what things are naturally occurring in me. Like, what things do I, like my morals, would I still think killing is wrong? Would that be innate in me? Or just like, it'd be so different.
Yeah. Now I'm like, I'm thinking too.
Doesn't it? It makes me mad that knowing that everything I am is because of other people. That's all I know. I'm a subject of my environment.
But I think, like, with getting older, because, like, so when I was younger, growing up, trying to be like everybody else and trying to find myself, I was way more impressionable and, just following the trends and listening to everything that was told to me and, and believing in everything that was told to me. Now that I'm older and I'm kind of like
trying to do it on your own,
happy, or I'm content in my own skin, and I know who I am, and I have accepted that I'm different. It's different. So I feel like I consciously like push away all those influences. Yeah. Like I've rejected them. Yeah.
To a certain extent, it's like we get to still, pick and choose, but you still, your environment influences you.
Right. No matter how hard I try to not be influenced, I'm still influenced.
You're still influenced. Well, the good news is people are watching, they're here. So it's working.
Hi guys.
It's so hard to I'm trying to direct, check, whatever. I'm just going to be in the conversation. But okay, yeah. So
how do you know who's watching? Like, where do you look at that at?
Well, it's supposed to come here, but we got likes and hearts, and she's laughing.
It's like a couple people?
Yeah, 3 people, maybe. Who knows? It's probably because my internet's not as great, but no comments yet. We'll get into comments later. We'll open the floor if people want to put in their 2 cents, whoever's watching. But I'm glad it's organized.
I wish I could share it on my live.
Yeah.
Like, I wish it could be, streamed on both of ours. It would be so dope. Yeah.
Next level. Next time. We'll get there. Okay, so going back to our discussion. So you think that, yes, he could have... It's very possible and very likely.
Yeah.
That...
I definitely think so.
And you said...
I believe in it. And I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know... personally for myself unless I did it and tried it out and seen if it worked.
Yeah.
And that would take, I don't know, I would need a lot of willpower to do it because how I eat and the way that my dieting and fitness and stuff is set up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would have to know all the details behind what he used or what he does or what the diet is.
Yeah. You know? Does it interest you to see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it... I mean, I'm already... I don't know if you saw my bathroom, all my oils. I am an oil lady. I got oils for everything. Ask my coworkers and people, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like there's an there's an oil for everything. So, that's cool. Okay, so we should follow up and see if you dug deeper and if you found more.
Okay.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Okay. Next question. Oh, okay.
That's me.
That's you. With the booty. Okay. Oh, great. So, we're going to go into this topic a little bit more. And what does HIV stand for exactly?
Human immunodeficiency virus.
Okay. So, explain a little bit for us not smart people what's happening in your body when that's the case.
So HIV is a virus that attacks your immune system. So it's like autoimmune disease, and our immune system is made up of white blood cells.
Right.
And I think. Do you know what your immune system is like? What it does or what?
Yeah. It fights infection. Yeah.
So our immune system fights off infections. Anytime like a bacteria or a virus or a parasite or whatever comes inside of our body, our immune system fights
knows how to do it.
And it's made up of white blood cells, like a bunch of different kind. And the HIV virus attacks a particular white blood cell called our T cells. And the T cells are like the sergeants of they tell all the other T cells what to do. So the HIV virus is smart. It attacks like the main white blood cell, that communicates to all the other white blood cells. And so, as if someone who's untreated, who's not being on medication or anything like that, once they get infected with HIV, their T cells start to drop. And their immune system starts to be damaged and can't fight off illnesses or diseases.
Right.
So that's what HIV does
inside
our body.
Okay.
Let me speak.
And so once you have that virus, there's all you can do is try to work to get your T cell count up, like.
So yeah, there's no cure for HIV, but the medicine that they have, to treat it is really, really good now. And like, it's come a long way since the 80s. So, and it works to suppress the virus, so to stop the virus. Like, it blocks the virus at different stages, which I don't want to go into detail too much about that, because that would be a whole nother conversation. But
just the basics.
It brings the virus down, and then your T cells have a chance to like restore themselves and go back up. So you can't be cured, but you can get your viral load or your virus really, really low in your body, and you can be, it's a term called undetectable, meaning that you have less than 20 copies of the virus inside of your...
Wait, so it gets in there and it multiplies, and it's not one, I mean...
Right.
I'm not think of science right
The
now.
virus, yeah. Once you're infected with HIV, or once you contract HIV, because infected sounds like stigmatizing. But once you have contracted HIV, it gets inside of the T cell, and it like gets inside of the DNA of the T cell, and it starts replicating a bunch of
so
viruses.
It starts as like one virus to be very...
And then it uses that T cell, takes it over, and uses it to produce more viruses.
Because the T cells naturally reproduce, because they're always doing that. It's been a minute since I've been in I had to like think about it.
And the virus replicates it replicates fast. So like someone who's not on medication could have like a viral load that's like in the millions. And then once you start the medication, it starts to suppress the virus. And you can get to undetectable, which means you have less than 20 copies of the virus.
Oh, wow.
And in your body.
Wow.
Or in your blood, in the sample of blood that they're testing.
Yeah.
And so the good thing about being undetectable, or like what's like the game changer in that, is when you're undetectable, you're untransmittable. So you can't pass the virus to your children or to your partners when you're undetectable.
Gotcha.
The lower your viral load is, the harder it is for you to pass the virus.
Wow. This is good. Like, this is an understanding that, and like, people don't think about it on that level. You know, people just judge.
I think, people fear what they don't know, and unless, someone knows someone personally with HIV, unless the person has contracted HIV themselves, or someone they love has contracted the virus, then people don't really care about it. Like, no one's learning about it. Like, or you don't really, I feel like a lot of people don't know that much about HIV, and it's because...
But we're aware enough to know it exists. So that's what we're trying to change, is the fact that we understand a cold, we understand a cough, we understand autism. There's awareness for everything. So why is it a stigma, as opposed to being like, hey, this is just like somebody who has something else. You know what I mean? Like, we'll get into that. You know what I mean? But it's like, that's how I always thought about it. It's like, okay, it's just, I'm not living with it, yes, but I'm knowledgeable enough to not treat people differently. Right. You know, like, just to say, okay, well, this person has something they're dealing with. Just like, if you see somebody with autism, that's something they're dealing with. If it's somebody with a curved back, you're like, they're dealing with that, you know? But I just noticed there's definitely a difference. And we're going to get into, and hopefully you can help us understand why you think that is and what we can do to just be more understanding, you know? So with that said, if you don't mind, do you mind sharing a little bit of your story?
So, all right.
Like, where do I start?
No, it's like,
and whatever you feel comfortable. If you don't, we'll just talk more about what you understand about the stigma.
Okay. Well, I was like prepared to answer that, or we're going like off, like we're not going in order.
Too off, yeah.
So, I guess, so I was born HIV positive in 86.
Oh, me too.
Really? That's where you were born?
When's your birthday?
December 5th.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mine's January 19th.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Just a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
So yeah, in 86, and I don't know if you guys, or if you know, that the HIV epidemic or pandemic or whatever, it became prevalent in the 80s. Like, that was the beginning times, I think.
And why is that? Is it just, why was it on a heightened time during that time? Because it existed prior to that.
Well, so the first cases of HIV in the U.S. was 1981. Yeah.
Wow. So it came over. It wasn't here.
I don't know where it was at. I'm not sure where it came from.
My goodness.
Well, there's a bunch of theories as to where it came from.
Yeah.
But it's like Ebola. Where did Ebola come from?
Everybody blames Africa.
That's what they blame for this pandemic too.
We blame Africa for everything.
It came from Africa, from the monkeys in Africa. But
monkeys.
So yeah, 1981 was when it first became prevalent. So I was born in 86. So obviously I contracted the virus from my mom. My mom was on drugs. I'm from San Bernardino, California.
Hey, what's up, Sanborn? She representing down here.
And so San Bernardino is like, I'm from the hood, from the west side of San Bernardino, actually, from Gilbert Street. And so drugs is like a huge issue in San Bernardino. And I'm sure it's an issue like not just in San Bernardino, everywhere.
Drugs in Newport Beach, where we're at.
So my mom was on drugs, and I'm assuming that's how she contracted the virus.
Gotcha.
Probably from a combination of different things, but
right.
So she wasn't aware that she was positive until she had me.
Oh, wow.
And so that's how that happened a lot back in the 80s. The first test for HIV was created in 1985.
Wow.
Right. So that was the year before I was born.
Yeah.
So there was no
people
way
had
for
no
her to even
idea
get
about
tested.
it. It was just going around at that time. Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah. And so so yeah, I was and in San Bernardino at the time, there were no HIV medical specialists in my area.
Yeah.
So I had to be transferred all the way to Children's Hospital, Los Angeles, all the way out here.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate. Sorry, it touches upon the fact that those areas don't get to be treated as well either when it comes to getting the resources that you need.
Right. Absolutely.
Goodness. Oh my gosh. Okay.
And so at that time there was no HIV medical specialist. I had to be transferred all the way to Children's Hospital, where I saw my pediatrician, Dr. Church, who I feel like if it wasn't for him, I feel like he just saved my life.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And I seen him for the first 21 years of my life, and they said I wasn't gonna live to be 5.
Girl,
I know. I'll be 33 this year.
Woo!
So, and that's so. I feel like that's so ironic. My doctor's name was Dr. Church. Yeah.
You're like, and the rest goes to God. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
So, and I wasn't supposed to live to be 5, but I guess God had other plans because I'm still here today.
You're here, thriving.
But yeah, so my mom, I feel like I was saying, people fear what they don't know, and a lot of people don't know someone with HIV, and they're going off of just all the stuff that they heard from whether they learned about it in school, or from the media or whatever, wherever they heard it from, but they don't actually know someone living with HIV, so they can't relate or don't have a story or a face to put
or an understanding.
Too. So, but once you know someone, then you can know, people might not be able to relate to having HIV, but they can relate to other parts of my story.
Right.
I'm from
the hood.
My mom was on drugs. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to having a family member on drugs.
Yeah.
You know? My aunt and uncle took legal guardianship of me to make sure that I was able to get the best care, or to get the care that I needed to be able to go to my doctor's appointments. to make sure I was taking my medicine, getting my medicine, eating right, you know, everything that I needed.
Just you have to take more care of yourself because your immune system is weak. So anything that does it make you, like when you get a cold, do you get sick drastically because your body doesn't fight as hard? Like, or is it just more keeping
really. When I was younger, when I was a kid, I got sick a lot more, but now not so much. Like, and I think the reason why I got sick more as a child is because, so like treatment for HIV has come a long way. Back then, they didn't have the medicine that they have today. Yeah. So
don't kids get sick more anyways?
And I think it's because probably my immune system was trying to develop, and I had something that was breaking it down. Right. Plus, I didn't have the right medicines. The medicines that they have now is way better than they used to have. The medicine they used to have.
Awesome.
Yeah. The medicine they have now is called ART, antiretroviral therapy, and that didn't come out until 1996, which was 10 years after I was born.
Wow.
So, yeah. But
the history, like, that's crazy. I didn't even know that.
So I think it's because people can't relate, but once you hear someone actually share their story, and you hear, you know, everybody's HIV story is different,
but everybody's different, you know.
Exactly. Then you can dispel all those stigmas once you hear someone's story and what they go through and see how you can relate. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
So what were some of the, like, challenging parts when you were younger in terms of, let's take it back to more like your youth before you got into like your awareness stage. Like your teens is different. Like you're different.
Yeah, I think I had like 3 stages. So when I was a kid, when I was in that adolescent stage, it was a lot different, and then now as an adult,
you're still young, so
yeah. But it's still different. So when I was a kid, I always say like I want to get back to how my mind frame was as a kid, because as a kid I didn't really know I didn't understand or wasn't able to conceptualize the intent or the intensity behind what I had. Like I didn't know, you know.
And you didn't know all the social aspects.
And I didn't know, I wasn't aware of the stigma until I got into middle school and high school, because my family never treated me any different.
Exactly.
Yeah. In fact, I probably got more love because, you know, having to raise a child that with needs, or I don't want to say like a disability, but I guess that's what it is. It's different. So
not special needs.
Special needs. Yeah.
I mean, whatever. They are special.
So it's different. But so as a child, I think the worst thing or the most challenging thing for me was taking my medicine. And back then, the medicines were not as great as they were today. So I think I had like to take 10 pills in the morning and 10 at night, and some of them were really nasty
and big.
One I had to chew, and I used to cry like, no, Mom, I don't want to take it. Yeah. So it was the taking the medicine part, like I didn't like it. But everything else, like I said, I wasn't aware of a stigma. I used to go to camp.
To you, it was like, you're sick.
Yeah, and I just was like, oh, some people are sick and some people aren't. I'm just sick. Yeah. And I used to go to a camp where it was like for kids who 6 through 16 who were infected or who had a life-threatening disease. And so I used to be around kids who were
special.
who were, you know, battling different life-threatening diseases. And so that was my normality, you know, like I was around I was exposed to that kind of stuff at a young age.
So that was your influence, that was your environment. You didn't see anything wrong with it.
So the hardest thing or the most challenging thing as a child was the medicine, and the fact that I used to get sick a lot more often. So I would be in the hospital like sometimes on different holidays. I'm like, but it was cool. Children's Hospital was like super cool. Like they would give me presents and stuff. So
there's some perks. Wow. Okay. So then let's move into the adolescent
stage.
Okay. So even when you're not, just just your teens in general.
Right.
I could tell you a story.
So, in my adolescent stage, going into middle school and high school, that's when I started learning about sex and being interested in guys at the time. Then when I was in high school,
it's called puberty.
I was interested in girls. But so then that's when I started being like, you know, interested in dating. And so I took a health education class in the 7th grade. Like, that's one of the things that sticks out to me the most. And that was the first time I learned about like sex and STIs. And just, I remember thinking like I didn't like how they portrayed my experience.
Well, so you didn't even like the way that they were given the education on it.
Right. Like, because it was just, you know, like they never talked about treatment, and the pictures and stuff they showed like was like of like white gay men. Like, it was known to be like a gay guy's disease, a gay man's disease.
And I'm sure it was very emotionally disconnected.
Yeah.
Because like, I can tell you right now, sitting here and listening to you, and my perspective is, not that I don't feel like I was judgmental ever, because I'm just, I don't judge people like that necessarily. But
did you even know I was positive back like when we were hanging out and stuff? No, huh?
I don't think so.
No.
But even when you started sharing yourself on Facebook, it wasn't like, there was never a moment I was just like, oh, you know, like it was kind of like, oh wow, okay, that's her struggle. Let's just dealing with that, you know. And that's how I try to treat everybody. And like I said, it doesn't matter to me. You're homeless, like I'm very, I don't know what you call that. Everybody's on the same. Oh, my sound.
Can you tell who's watching?
Yeah. No, I cannot hear.
Oh, okay.
I'll hear. I see people are still watching. And it doesn't matter. We're in this moment.
Okay,
here.
sorry.
I'm learning about you. It's touching my heart. So, no, I forgot what
I'm so sorry. You were saying I've never been judgmental. I feel like I've never.
Oh, no. So, just you sharing now how even the way that they educate people about it is so emotionally disconnected, to me, means that's not part of education. Because what we should be teaching, because they do that with anybody else. Like, if somebody has cancer, the sympathy, it's like you bring the whole emotion into it. So did you feel like they did that in your...
Yeah, no.
They did not. But, like, I'm sitting here and I'm getting that, and I feel that, and I'm relating to it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, when you tell me about taking all that, you know what I mean? Like you said, they don't tell you, like, all of the humaneness of what you're really going through. Right. I think that should be part of the education. Because I feel like that's... If you leave that out, maybe that's what perpetuates more of the stigma.
Exactly. That's why, as a health educator, that's like one of my like
goals.
I make it a point to talk about stigma, and I make it a point to share my story at the end after giving all the information. You know. But did you ever take health education, like when you were in the 7th grade?
I'll be honest, I did. I learned nothing. I got pregnant at 20.
So I don't think, they just showed a bunch of pictures of all the STIs, and they were all these scary pictures. Yeah. And like,
I honestly
it just
don't think
scared people. Like,
paid any attention to that.
And they didn't talk about treatment, and they showed like, I mean, I can't speak for like all the other STIs because I don't know what it's like, but I feel like they showed the most gross pictures of all of them, and that they probably don't even like sometimes show symptoms when they have an STI, and so some people don't know that they have it.
They went for the jugular.
Yeah.
They're like, this is the worst it could be.
And I feel like it doesn't really, I don't know.
It's not complete.
Yeah. They didn't talk about treatment, and they showed, going back to HIV, and they showed pictures of white middle-aged gay men and people who were sick, or Africans. They showed pictures of some Africans too, people who were really sick and dying. They didn't show pictures of people who were like thriving or living, making
it and not.
So I remember being in that class and hearing the reactions of all the other kids, and that was the first time like I feel like I was face to face with the stigma behind HIV. And then my aunt who raised me always used to tell me like, oh well, be careful who you share your business with, because people in this world can be cruel. And at that time I didn't understand what she meant by that.
We never do remember.
And it kind of made me feel like I had something to hide. And I obviously didn't listen to her advice, and I ended up sharing my status with someone. And this was later on in high school. And then shortly after that, I learned exactly what she meant. Like,
I'm sorry.
Like, so then I had like, I shared, the first person I shared my status with was my first girlfriend in high school. I got turned out in high school. And when we broke up, she kind of like spread my business after that, and used it against me. And so that's when I started experiencing all the...
Were people bullying, hateful, commenting, giving you weird looks? Like, what happened?
Not necessarily. I think it was a lot of maybe like talk behind my back. Nobody ever said anything to my face, but sometimes I would hear like somebody would come to me, oh, this person said this person said that. Yeah. And so it was never said to my face, but I would hear the stuff sometimes. Yeah. And it would come back to me, and it made me feel like you internalize all of that stuff, you know? Yeah. And so that's when I started experiencing like the stigma when I got into middle school and high school. And then in high school, my mom passed away from AIDS-related illnesses. Yeah. And so watching her die like really kind of played with my psyche a little bit.
Of course.
Yeah. Because I had been hearing, the stigma, some of the stigma, one of your questions was...
Yeah, it's fine, go ahead.
What do you think is like... What? How did you ask it? Let me see.
Like... I forgot.
You said... Oops.
Second page. Oh, yes.
What do you think is one of the things people are most ignorant about when it comes to HIV and AIDS? And so, the stigma. So, I think people think that if you have HIV or AIDS that you're gonna die. Like, I think that's the biggest misconception.
That you're like doomed to die young.
And I heard that a lot of times in my life. And then watching my mom pass away when she did kind of like really played with my psyche. Yeah. So, but there's a bunch of stigmas too. People think, what are some of the stigmas? That the oldest one in the book is that only gay guys get HIV, which is not true. It doesn't.
And people forget that it's not always through sex.
Right. Yeah. That's another one. Like if you have HIV, you are promiscuous or a hoe, or no, you can have sex one time, or like you said, you don't even have to have sex to get HIV. Right. I was born HIV positive. You can get it from sharing needles or blood transfusions. A lot of people got it through like blood transfusions.
Yeah, because we didn't know.
Yeah.
1980s.
So, yeah. So yeah, you are another one of the stigmas is I hate when people do that, like when they refer to themselves when they get tested as being clean, and that kind of how can I say it, kind of because then it implies that someone who is positive dirty, or has an STI is dirty, and it's like,
wow, no. That's a good point.
Like,
no, I'm not dirty. I actually bathe every day.
So yeah.
Wow, yeah.
That's when I started going through the stigma in my adolescent years, and then
and the sad part is that your adolescent years are the years that you're trying to figure out who you are. in the world, and the world's telling you who you should be, what you should be, what you should not be, and then you add this layer of like goodness.
Yeah. So after my mom passed away, I went through this little, I guess, depressive stage, but it didn't look like I was depressed.
Yeah.
But I just started not
But see, that could be a stigma for us. Like, we think all depressed people are just like walking around.
Where I started not caring. I didn't give a fuck about can I cuss on the show? I'm sorry.
I don't know, as long as Facebook doesn't have a problem with it. I
didn't care about nothing after that, and I kind of like had like no hopes or like dreams for the future because I felt like, you know, I was gonna die anyway.
Oh, man.
So I started drinking and partying and turning up, and I think I took drinking overboard. But because of everything I was going through,
you're dealing with a lot of emotions,
and so I just put it all to the back burner, and I kind of like didn't think about it. And,
That's crazy. I'm gonna like circle all the way back because we're talking about death and passing, and it's honestly a subject that I want to touch upon soon because we never talk about death. I said we got interrupted, so I don't know if we're still going, but we're just gonna keep going because this is what happens. It's live.
Okay.
This stuff happens, and you guys can watch this later. You're probably watching it later. Whatever. But I was just thinking about your mental as you're going through life and you're living and you're thinking, I'm gonna die, right? But I'm crazy. I'm always thinking I'm gonna die anyways. I know I'm gonna die. We're all gonna die. It's really not funny, but it's oh no. Okay, we're gonna continue.
What happened?
We got booted off the internet, but we're still going.
So it's not on there no more?
It's not live.
Okay.
So now it's just me and you.
Okay.
Nobody's watching. Get crazy, girl. Just kidding. Okay. She's like, in that case. I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
No, but people can still watch it
later.
Okay. It always happens. I just gotta figure out the internet. But okay, so I was saying, death is inevitable. It's inevitable. But we still treat it like it's not the destination, right? But during that time, you were treating it like this is the destination. This is life. Yeah. This is what I'm going towards. And that's just a trip. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, and I think that's with not just with me having HIV, but anyone who's battling some kind of life-threatening disease,
or just depressed or anything.
That's like it just really plays with your mind, you know. And it's like I spent all this time not caring and throwing my life away and messing up, thinking I was gonna die, and then I didn't die, so I wasted all the time. Like, I wasted all that.
You live. You live. We're living. The thing is, you know, I'm always thinking about life too much. Sometimes I'm just like today. Like today, I was like, yeah, we sit around and we talk, and it's like we think we have it figured out, but we don't know nothing. And we can talk like we got it figured out, but I'm just like, we don't know nothing.
Yeah.
And we're gonna die. So, isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Does that, I don't know. Essentially, like, we're all gonna, and we never talk about it, and like, we're scared of it, it's taboo, and like, it hurts, I get it. Because definitely seeing the reaction with everybody who was connected to Nips and how they felt, and they don't even know him, you know, that's so crazy. But and then when it happens, was like I haven't experienced too much in my life. I was really young when like my grandparents and everybody, so maybe that's why I'm like a little insensitive and a little disconnected. But I really want to understand how that goes in your mind. Because I'm like, I already know I'm going to die. I don't know when it's going to be. But you think it's going to happen, to have it wake up thinking, oh, this could be the last day?
No. So I think the scarier part about it for me is it's the how you're going to die part. Like, for example, like, oh, I don't want to even say that because that sounds so insensitive. But
no, say it.
It's the suffering part. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like so me watching my mom die, and my aunt passed away last year too, not from HIV or not from AIDS related illnesses, but she actually had a slow, drawn out death too. Like, cancer is the same way.
Oh man,
you know.
Yeah.
I would rather die quickly, like getting shot or something that's fast, than to have it long and drawn out suffering.
And be suffering.
Yeah. So I think that's the
harder
part
to deal
scary.
with.
Yeah.
Goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
so I think that's what played with my psyche. Like, ugh.
You're gonna suffer.
Yeah.
So it's not so much the dying. It's like, I'm gonna go through pain, and it's gonna be drawn out.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. See, I don't think about it like that. I'm more like, I feel like I'm just gonna die instantly.
See,
but it's not.
And you never know. Like, I might not die from AIDS-related illnesses, and something else might take me out before then. You know,
we never know.
Yeah, but when I was younger, I wasn't thinking like that. You know.
Yeah. Well, you're young. Life is great. It just.
Actually, I was trying not to think about none of that at all.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I went through that.
And you succeeded.
Stage. Yeah.
But now we can't do it.
No.
The older we get, the harder it is to let it in.
Yeah, I actually had a life-changing experience that, like, I almost lost my life. And it changed the whole way I was viewing things and everything, you know?
Yeah. So. Oprah calls it an aha moment.
Yeah, I had an aha moment. Near-death aha moment. Like, okay.
Oh, no, it was a near-death.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So, when I graduated from high school, my biological mom passed away my junior year of high school. And then when I graduated high school, while I was in my parents' house, my aunt and uncle's house, they made me take my medicine, you know?
Yeah.
So until I graduated, I was undetectable because I took my medicine every day and I was doing it like how I was supposed to. But when I graduated and I got on my own, I rebelled.
I'm freezing bird.
I went to college and I stopped taking my medicine for stupid reasons. See, like, I didn't want to put my medication in the refrigerator because I stayed in the dorms and I didn't want my dorm mate to see my medicine. So that was one of the reasons why I stopped. 2, I was partying and drinking, and I mean, like, I used to drink a lot. Like, I think I was a binge drinker. I don't know. And so I didn't like how I felt being drunk and taking my medicine. And plus, it's hard on your kidneys, which I had to learn the hard way. So I was like on and off my medicine, and then I just completely stopped because it's not good to be on and off your medicine because you can develop resistance, and so that's not good. But then I just completely stopped, and I wasn't taking my medicine for like years.
Oh my gosh.
And I felt like, oh, I'm not getting sick. I'm fine. Like, you know, like I don't need that medicine. Like, I'm fine. But it took a long time. You know, different people's bodies handle the virus differently.
Definitely.
So like, I think I must have like strong blood. Because even with my mom, she was on drugs and she never took any medication her whole life. And from till I was born until my junior year of high school, that's when she started getting sick.
Oh wow!
So
you
it
guys
took
are
a
resilient.
long time, you know.
See, Africa got them strong genes.
That strong blood. So it took a long time for me to get sick, and then I think 2011, I had started getting sick. So we went to Vegas for my friend's birthday, and we like did way too much. We were like, and so when I came back, I got sick, and I think it was because like my body was trying to tell me you need to chill, like relax. But I got really sick, and I was like, I probably have pneumonia, because when I get sick and I can't shake it, that's when I know it's like something where I need to go to the doctor and get some antibiotics. So I was like, I probably have pneumonia. And I did. I went to the emergency room and I had pneumonia. And then they also told me I had acute kidney failure.
What does that mean?
So my kidneys failed. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. From all that damn drinking.
And probably like, I don't know if it was just from the drinking, but I would like be on and off my medicine too. Yeah. So maybe it was a combination of both.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. But I had acute kidney failure, and so that I was in the hospital for like a month, and that was the craziest month of my whole entire life. I never prayed so much, Boosie. Mm-hmm. And they didn't want to start me on dialysis because I was so young. I think I was like 24 or something like that. I was so young. And then they finally had to, because my kidneys weren't coming back. And then I did dialysis 3 times.
And then dialysis.
And they started working again.
Goodness. Yeah. What does that entail? Like just they're flushing out your system?
Your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they started working again. And I was like, oh, shoot. That's God.
Yes.
And I was praying to him and telling him I was bargaining. I'm going to change my life. I won't drink again. He knew I was lying when I said too.
It's what we do. Yeah. We're always trying to bargain with God.
And then after that, I was like, all right, I got to keep my promise to God. And so I got my life together.
Well, that's inspiring.
And stuff, yeah.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I learn the hard way, too. I'm stubborn. I get it.
Yeah. And I started volunteering and getting back to those services and stuff that made me feel like whole and normal again.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that goes into like my next question about what you try to teach, right? People, what do you want people to know the most about?
So I think
sorry, thank you.
It's okay. So I think I think people think that, well, the one that I mentioned earlier, like people think that if you have HIV or AIDS that you're gonna die. Mm-hmm. And no, that's not necessarily true, especially now in 2019, like with how far the treatment and stuff has come. It's not like that. You can live like a long, healthy, normal life, you know? Awesome. Like, and let's see. I feel like people think I think people think that it's more contagious than it is. Like people think that HIV is like super easily spread. Like,
yeah, like you touched me and I'm like, now I have.
Like easily spread like that.
Right.
It's not contagious.
Yeah.
Also, like for newly diagnosed people, being that I work with at an AIDS service organization, and I have worked with a lot of clients and stuff, what I see from newly diagnosed people is like, and I hate it, like that, so they kind of struggle with this post-HIV or pre-HIV diagnosis identity, and then this post
so it messes with how you see yourself.
Right, and this post-HIV diagnosis identity, and then they deal with all this guilt and shame, and they feel like then they internalize that stigma that they had
to themselves.
Yeah, and to themselves, and then they go through this super depressive stage, and they sometimes are in denial, don't want to get on the medication. So for me, I feel like the stigma kills more people than the actual disease does. And I've never had a pre-HIV diagnosis.
Yeah.
This has always been my normality.
Right.
But I do know what it's like to internalize that stigma that has been programmed into our head. And so for newly diagnosed people, I just want them to know that, you know, your life is not over. You can live a long and healthy life.
Yeah.
And also, you can have a normal, healthy sex life too, because I feel like they feel like they're going to be alone after that. Like no one's going to want to date them.
Yeah.
Just their
people
life
are not as understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want people to know, like, you're still the shit. You're still beautiful.
Right.
You can still have a normal, healthy sex life and a normal, healthy life. So.
I think yeah, that's good. I think we touch upon that when we realize, or at least when I realize, the way we have put the psychological happenings along with the physical happenings is what makes people relate and be more accepting and open and draw. You know what I mean?
Once you get the story,
right? But I still don't understand how it wasn't treated like any other thing that's life-threatening. Like I said, why are we more sympathetic to people who have cancer than people who have HIV?
I think it's because of the way that it like hit. So the first cases were in 1981, and then after that, it's just started like I don't know how to explain it. It started like just appearing everywhere. Like people were just dying left and right, and and like I said, people fear what they don't know. Like it wasn't that much now. Like people were like, "What is this disease?
Yeah,
where is it coming
from? So it hit them blindsided.
How is it? Yeah, like, and so I think that's what it, and it caused a lot of fear because like a lot of people were passing away from this unknown disease. They called it GRID at first, gay-related.
You call it what?
GRID.
GRID.
Gay-related immune deficiency, because it was popping up in a bunch of men who have sex with men, you know?
Yeah.
And then they realized, you know, hemophiliacs were getting it, drug addicts were getting it, you know, like women, not just gay guys, you know? And so, yeah, it was just like, I think it was because the shock of how many people were passing away. And when you learn, and I feel like just learning things out of fear has very negative consequences. And so, yeah, like
that makes a lot of sense.
I think that's what it was. It was the way that it became prevalent, and so many people were passing away, and people didn't know what was going on or what was happening.
Damn, y'all, it's 2019. Like, and come on, get it together.
And still, even to this day, like the undetectable thing that I told you about, that now it's a proven fact that U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable. That just became a fact in 2015.
Oh, it's new. Yeah.
They were doing partner studies for like a while. You know? So that just became prevalent in 2015. So I feel like people still were. I think that's a game changer. Once the message actually sinks in with people, and people believe it and people accept it, it's a game changer, because now you can love without fear, knowing like, oh, if my partner is taking their medicine and they're undetectable, they can't transmit the virus. But before then, 2015, even still now, like I think people think, if I have sex with this person, I'm gonna get it, or you know, like. So
the more we learn, the better we can educate, and the more we can dispel this. So you have hope that we're gonna move, because
hopefully,
I know you see what slavery did.
It's gonna take a long time, but hopefully
they feared us.
We get there, So yeah, and then I also think that it has a lot to do with the fact that it's a sexually transmitted disease too. Like cancer is not sexually transmitted. All those other things are sexually transmitted. So I think that adds to it too.
It's another thing I got to talk about. We're going to talk about death. We're going to talk about sex. Not together, hopefully.
I mean, it would be pretty cool to die having sex. That's cool. No? That would be a cool way to go out, I think.
Private person. I don't mind to be stuck in them. My naked body just.
That's funny.
No, but you do what I want to do. I want to send my naked body in space.
Okay.
I want to float around in space forever. You'd be like, it's a bird, it's
Boosie. That's funny.
Are you kind of constellation up there? Anyways, yeah. Is that weird?
A little, but it's a good weird. No, I honestly
Okay, like if I die
in,
having sex in space, that's fine.
Okay.
I gotta be in space.
I'm actually like interested in space too. Like, well, more so like from the whole like So I don't know if one of my friends was telling me like in Scientology, like that's what they believe.
Oh no.
Just
kidding.
They believe like that our we're spiritual beings
Having
and that
a human experience.
yeah, and that like I guess once do you think that there could be life on other planets or whatever like that? Like that we're connected to a spiritual realm in space. Like it's some kind of spiritual thing going on in space and that's what we're connected to. And
I think it sounds
do you know
nice.
what Scientology is? Have you heard of that?
I haven't touched upon it.
No.
You know about that too?
No, not really.
For
Not really too much, but I've heard bits and pieces about it. Yeah. And it has to do with space.
I think
outer space.
As nice as it sounds that there's others like us, I'm very selfish. I'm like, nope, we special. It's just us.
Human beings, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like us. Mm-hmm. And if I want to meet an alien, I don't want it to look like humans because I didn't see what humans do. Mm-hmm. I want something completely different. Like something I can't even imagine. So, because then it'd be boring. Like, oh, you have eyes. Big deal. I know this.
But I think like the aliens that they portrayed,
they look like
stuff.
They have the same things that we know. So then how is it like so I'm like boring. Show me an alien with something I've never imagined. You can't. Because it's going to be limited to what we imagine. So, no. But anyways, that's a whole other conversation. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. And my before that. What do you want people to know most about you? Now that you've been very transparent and open and sharing and people are always going to have their own... Huh?
I said I didn't prepare for that question, but go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It was one of the questions. What do you want people to know most about you? But just, I'm giving you the fact that you were very open and transparent and like, I want you to get to say who you are because people always want to, what I mean? So, who are you? What do you want us to know?
I think I was just going to keep it simple on that one, on this question. Just
my name is Portia. I'm a Sag.
I'm a Sag. I'm just a beautiful black queen.
Nice.
Living with HIV.
There you go. Nice. Simple. Beautiful queen, and she's
black
living
queen. Yes.
Black queen. And she's living. Mm-hmm. She's here, and that's in itself is an amazing story. That's awesome. And then the last question was, we kind of actually talked about it. What we can do to be more accepting and be less stigmatizing people who are living with AIDS or HIV or really everything, anything that affects their life physically and their health, but more so from what you understand, what
can we do to reduce the stigma?
What can we do? What advice and what are you trying to tell us to understand and do moving forward now that we've understood more?
I guess just to not perpetuate the stigma. I'm all about this whole, like, I've been learning that language matters. You know what I'm saying? The way that we talk about things matters. So, like, to be mindful of the way that you talk about HIV and AIDS, or like maybe to being open to the idea that, or open to learning more about it, and open to understanding that it may not be it's not what you think it is, or it's not, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
So hear people out. Like what we're doing today. Like be open, understand people, know what's going on, don't just judge, basically.
Right. So yeah. Like to know me is to love me.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone who knows me knows that I like dispel every aspect of the stigma. So it's like, and I would hope that the people who love me and who know me don't continue to talk about HIV and AIDS.
Yeah.
Or continue the same rhetoric. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, and that they are mindful about how they talk about it, and that they're educating people who don't know that much about it or whatever, you know?
Yes.
So
I love that. That basically summarizes the whole point of why I do this, is to get people to be more loving. Because I really believe the more perspective and openness and sharing we do, the more understanding that we're going to be. We're going to break those walls and barriers that stop us from engaging. And it's like, we're all human. Like, we can connect. There's like nothing different between us. Like, I could tell you stories of struggles and stuff. It's just the same thing. It's just a different kind.
You have a different struggle.
Yeah.
We're all struggling.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the thing. We all struggling. We're all going to die.
Don't say that. Yeah, I'm okay with it now. Like, you know, I am. I'm okay with it.
I'm sorry. I'm just joking about it, but I'm just like...
Yeah. I'm ready for whatever that day comes.
Yes.
Hopefully no time soon. But
that's why we're hopeful. I hope not, because I enjoyed this. I enjoyed your openness, your spirit, and like the reason, like I said, I asked you to come is because you inspired me. I'm not that transparent, but I'm like, I am kind of, but I don't talk about my emotions. My emotions like this, more like my thoughts, you know. So I'm pushing myself to be more expressive too.
Okay.
And when I see people do it without abandon, like, whoa, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay, I can do it too. So it's inspiring.
It's hard because I'm not really good at explaining my emotions sometimes. Like I go
That's a
on and on and
whole nother talk show.
But I feel like I have to like.
Because you know there's so much good that comes from it.
Yeah, for a long time I didn't talk about it, and I kept it all in, and I realized that was me remaining silent and just listening to other people talk. Yeah. Or put their perspective on my experience was allowing the stigma to perpetuate in itself. You know? And so, you know, now I just feel like I have to in order to change that whole rhetoric and to eliminate the stigma. I have to speak out. And now, even with going back to like our whole point, the why we're doing this, like even like with Nipsey's death and the fact that he was gonna do that documentary and everything, like it's even more important for me now. Like I feel like more of a push to do it. You know? So, or to continue speaking out and sharing. Yeah,
I mean, it makes you wonder.
And changing.
What drew him to that interest? What drew him to Dr. Sebi? What made him feel like this is something people have to know? He must have had some kind of connection and experience with it too. Or just a person like me who wants everybody's story. You know? So. Yeah. Awesome. See?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't that bad.
All right, guys. That's it. Another episode. Soulistically speaking. Thank you. See you next time.